Have you ever stopped to think why the word fasting is so popular in our culture? I don't know about you, but every single corner I turn, I hear the word fasting. I see the apps, I see the billboards, I see the experts, I see the religious people talking about fasting. And so what's the big deal with fasting? Why has this all of a sudden become one of the most popular subjects in our culture? I truly believe that fasting has many, many different benefits. One of the things you often hear is that fasting is great for weight loss. I actually disagree. I don't believe that fasting is great for weight loss, and here's why. I believe that fasting is great for weight loss because it cuts back on snacking, but it's not just the being hungry or not eating that allows you to lose weight, right? Because at the end of the day, when you go back into your eating window, it's how many calories you actually bring in and the types of foods that you bring in. And so you can fast for 16 hours, but inside of your eating window, if you eat 4,000 calories, in other words, you take out a small village, you're gonna gain some weight. You're not gonna lose any weight, right? And so what are the powerful benefits of fasting? Well, I think first and foremost, we need to understand that every time we eat, we spike insulin, right? And so every time you eat, you spike insulin. When you're not eating and that insulin is not spiked, that 80% of that energy that goes generally towards digestion has the ability to go into other areas of your body, heal your body from injuries or any kind of illness that you may be experiencing. I've experienced this firsthand. I've had stomach bugs and I have decided to just drink water and fast, and it zaps away whatever stomach bug I've had. And so I know for a fact firsthand that fasting for recovery when it comes to any kind of injury or illness can really, really help. Now, I believe that the most powerful thing inside of fasting is that it allows your brain's reward systems to be reset. In other words, we have this chemical called dopamine, which is constantly being secreted, especially this time and age, because we're constantly on our phones, checking social media, checking emails. And every time we do that, we're secreting dopamine. And so we are in a overdose of dopamine. So the ability to actually put ourselves through proactive pain through not eating is a great way to reset your brain's reward systems and bring that dopamine set point down lower versus it being all the way up here and you having actually an overdose of dopamine. And so when we come back from the fast, we feel happier, we feel more peace, because that dopamine set point has been set low, right? It's been brought back to its original place instead of having an overdose and constantly secreting dopamine, because that's where I believe a lot of lack of gratitude is in the world. We are constantly being stimulated by things, right? And so putting ourselves through some proactive pain through fasting is a very powerful way to do that. I also love the fact that fasting really allows us to face our mortality. We realize that we are mortal human beings, that we depend on food, and when food is not there, it's scarce, or we just take it out intentionally, that we're faced with our mortality. And when we can do that, I think that's powerful because it brings us into the moment, right? Oftentimes we hold grudges, we're upset, we are ungrateful, right? We have all this drama in our life, and facing our mortality helps us realize that we are only here for a certain amount of time and that we have to make the most of our time. And I think that's super powerful from that perspective. I also believe that when you're not digesting nutrients, that you have more focus and more clarity, right? Because you are sort of in a primal state. Your awareness expands, right? Your vision, your hearing, your olfactory, your smell, right? Your gustatory senses, everything is intensified because your body is sort of in an alert, right? It's looking for food, right? Back when we were hunters and gatherers and we were in the savannah, people would go 2, 3, 4 days without eating until they could actually find, game. And so that made them very alert because they were looking for game. I think that that's still valid this day and age. And so now we can focus, we can have clarity in our careers and, in the things that we're doing that require focus. So fasting is very powerful from that perspective. But more importantly, I think from a weight loss perspective, I think it resets your taste buds, right? Our taste buds are overwhelmed with salt, sugar, condiments, all the different things that we add to our food. So when we don't fast, we reset our taste buds, and when we go back to eating, we realize that soup or that salad or that pasta that we were eating was so rich. And hopefully that gives us the ability to pull back and get away from a lot of those condiments that from a weight loss perspective oftentimes get us in trouble. Guys, this is a very short overview of fasting, but I can tell you right now that if you decide to fast, number one, you want to make sure you get the right protocol, the protocol that is right for you. I believe that being a good faster means that when you break the fast and you go into that eating window, that you can actually control your appetite and that you're not just taking out a small village eating all these calories, because that's not the point, right? So being a good faster is being able to fast for however long you decide to fast, whether it's 8, 12, 16, or 22 hours, and then come back and be in some kind of cell-binding mechanism, some kind of nutrition plan that will allow you to eat healthy from there on out and not go into, an exaggeration or just overtures when it comes to eating. And so if that's you, then fasting is possibly a great tool for you and something that's going to edify and strengthen you. I hope you enjoyed this video. JT Tapia with the Empty Your Bucket Plan, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about fasting. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet, I would invite you to do so that you can catch on to some of the videos that we do. And I love to speak about things that edify the mind, the body, and the spirit. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you're going to love this one here. I'll talk to you guys soon. JT Tapia, ciao, ciao.